Oh, hey there. What's poppin', guys? My name is John Barker. I'm the award-winning pitmaster at Beach Bum Barbecue, and I'm the executive chef here at Skull and Mortar. And today, we've got something special. We have got a whole leg of lamb. So this is what a whole leg of lamb looks like. A lot of times when you get these, this bone will be cut out, but it's really cool when you get one that has the bone in it. Dude, don't be a pervert. We just started this video. It's Christmas season, chill out. But it's really awesome when you have the bone in the meat because it's gonna just add like a richness of flavor to the meat around it. So whenever you have the opportunity to cook a leg of lamb that has the bone in it, that's what I would suggest doing. So we do need to do some trimming on this one. If you have one that doesn't have the bone in it, there'll just be an open cavity in here, and you're gonna wanna tie that together with butcher's twine. So for this here, there's obviously a lot of blood on the surface. We don't wanna leave that on there. It doesn't do anything good for the meat. So we're gonna take a paper towel and we're just gonna kind of pat it dry. You don't really need to do too much, just kind of pat around. As you can see, it absorbs right off pretty easily. The next step is you're gonna need to trim off this extra silver skin, the fat, the sinew. You don't want that on here. It's not gonna do much for this cut of meat, but it is gonna prevent your seasonings from getting down into the meat and really penetrating. So now you're gonna wanna go ahead and just kind of pinch up the loose chunks of fat. Get a good sharp knife. I like to use my boning knife, but you can use whatever knife you want. If it's sharp, you just want it to be sharp because you're making a lot of kind of weird angular cuts and tough tissue here. You're gonna need to get a good flap up here so you can kind of use your knife to get underneath it. And you don't want to take off too much of the meat, but like right here, this is gonna be bone, so don't try to hack away at that too much. You end up messing up your knife. All right, we're gonna start on our herb rub now. We're gonna use some fresh chopped thyme, some fresh chopped rosemary, and we're gonna use a head of fresh garlic. We're gonna throw some other stuff in here too, but this stuff is gonna require the chopping, so we're gonna get down to that right now. Now we're just kind of doing a rough chop. It doesn't have to be super fine, because again, we wanna create a good thick crust anyway. Cut your stems up, everything, just leave all of it in here. All right, so the best way to handle your garlic, you gotta get the skin off. It's kind of a pain in the ass. If you didn't already know, it's that simple. Crack it, peel it off. It's not that hard, except for the time that I'm trying to show you that it's not that hard. All right, then we're just gonna kind of rough chop through these, get like a roll. You're just gonna kind of just go through it over and over until you feel like it's the size that you're looking for. I'm just about there. All right, so we have our herb mixture, and we need the most important ingredients are gonna be salt. I know it seems like a lot of salt, but it's gonna go over the whole leg, just relax. Okay, and we're gonna do some fresh, coarse grind pepper. I am not just using a black peppercorn mix, I'm using a peppercorn mix that has a bunch of different things in it. I'm pretty sure that my grinder is about to break because it's all cracked up, but it's gonna keep on rolling like Limp Bizkit, you know what I'm saying? Get a lot of pepper in there. And you wanna keep it coarse grind because you want it to crust up. Now, I'm gonna throw just a tiny little bit of whole celery seed in here. I like the flavor it adds. I'm gonna throw a little bit of paprika in there because I like the added peppery notes. Don't go crazy with this, all right? If you don't want the paprika, don't put it in there, but I think that you'll be pleasantly surprised. It also adds to the color a little bit, so if you're going for presentation, you'll be happy with that. And I think that that's probably enough right there, just maybe like a half a teaspoon. Now, I am gonna add one more thing that I don't normally add, but I got this sweet little sample bag of cowboy prairie dust from TP Nelson over at Rolling Smoke on Facebook. So I figured I'd go ahead and throw that in there. I like the flavor, it's got some good notes to it, so we're not gonna get too crazy, but we're gonna add it in here. I like the thickness, the coarseness of the grind. I just really think it's gonna add a solid experience. So then we're just gonna kind of mix that around. All right guys, you're gonna wanna grab a little olive oil. Go ahead and put it on here. I would suggest that you don't skimp on the olive oil. a good olive oil, you can't really beat it. The flavor of the olive oil adds to anything. When used appropriately, is next level. So we get a good rub down here, and now we're just gonna grab in here, get some of our herb mixture here. Just kind of spread it out, rub it in a little bit. Kind of spread that seasoning out. Bam, got that done. We're gonna go ahead and flip it over. It's gonna be super slippery, obviously, because you just olive oiled the crap out of it. And again, same process. Again, we're just going to rub that into the meat, make sure it covers everything. If you got any crevices or anything, get in there. And now we're gonna use the rest of our herb mixture on here. This is gonna be the presentation side. So since Mike over there was giving me guff about my presentation, we're gonna make sure that we have a real nice presentation for Mike. Now there's one thing I do wanna do on this top part, is I wanna go back and I wanna hit it with a little more salt and pepper. Again, because I really want this side to pop. Don't get too crazy because you did hit it with a lot of salt in the herb mixture, and you can't really go wrong with pepper. So feel free to pepper the crap out of this bad boy. It's that simple, guys. That's all the prep work you need to do. Now, you should have your smoker going at 275 degrees. We're gonna throw this guy on here, and it's not gonna take more than about 2 hours. Alright guys, so we have our lamb leg cooked to a perfect 145 degrees here in the center. Some of these outer areas might be a little more well done, but that's gonna be good because you probably got some kids at home or somebody who isn't gonna want to eat it quite as medium as you. So let's go ahead and cut that open. Got that juice coming down here. See what we're working with. Got a good smoke ring there. Look at that, perfect. Still got a hint of pink in the middle. Now we're getting into that bone some. Still nice and juicy. This is a problem a lot of people have with lamb, is they dry it out, and that's just from overcooking it. You gotta make sure that you don't overcook the lamb because it will just get really dry. So, cool. Well, there's only one thing left to do. That's to try this bad boy out. This might be the best lamb I've ever had, honestly. And I'm not just saying it because I cooked it. I've cooked a lot of lamb and it wasn't as good as this. This might be the best. It's moist, it's delicious. And you do want to let this rest for about 30 minutes before you cut into it. But this, yeah, this is great. I'll give you one of these good crust pieces right there. You like that?
Yeah.
You weren't even a lamb fan, right?
I'm not even a lamb fan.
Yeah. I wasn't even that hungry, but now I don't want to stop eating it. Well guys, that's it. I mean, you don't have to do anything fancy to get an amazing lamb out of your smoker, but this right here is going to make anybody that eats it, you don't even have to like lamb. That's how good this thing is. So if you learned something in this video, if you like what you saw, make sure that you like it, subscribe, leave a comment down below. If you don't like it, hit the dislike button. I don't really care. Anyway, we'll be back next week with a brand new video, and as always, I appreciate you guys. Don't forget you can order my sauce below. See you next week.